Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 23. Hubsan Zino Mini Pro live on 6/5/2021. Got a lot to talk about with that. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see who's in the house tonight. I know, of course, my allergies always kick in Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. All right, Matt Cundiff is in the house. Matty, what's up? Leonard Oglesby, Ray Kelly, Captain Ray, Michael Wright, Ridgeflyer 32, Matt, let's see, Ben Smith is here, Johnny Drone Flyer is here. Who else we got? Ted Bowman, welcome, Ted. Akasharo is here, welcome. Who else we got? Steve Mack is here. I know Stephen Ewing is here. All right. I think we got a good drone shots is here as well. Got a good show line. Again, allergies Tuesday to 8. Stay tuned. That's what you get when you build a drone reviewer. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Got some news. Marcus has the evening off. He's heading out of town tomorrow, evidently I'm pretty sure on vacation. So hopefully he might drop in the chat. So be on the lookout for that. Not sure about Ron, but we got plenty to talk about. Like I said, the big news about the Hubsan Zino. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Wanted to go over some things, and I found just totally by accident. Now, I'll give you a clue, guys. Okay, I get most of my sources that I get for news. I go to Drone DJ, I go to Drone XL, I go to Sally French. Okay, those are the three places that I go, and I kind of recommend if you're looking for drone news, those are the best places to go to. Okay, bar none. Okay, it's and they're straight out. Okay, I did not find this on any of those sites. I found this out on Facebook. Okay, which is really interesting. But I wanted to go ahead and run this by you guys. It just kind of like I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. News and updates, yeah. So we're gonna get that on. Now, if it gets too dark, I'm gonna turn another light on. I figured what's washing me out is my lamp over here, so I got to do some rearranging of the lamps in this room. Space is at a premium in here, so I got to kind of figure that out. So I may take a second and go up and put the big light on. But anyway, okay, let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and get that up and share that with you guys. Okay, now, okay, Autel Robotics has a new CEO, all right? His name is Randall Warnes. The globally recognized thermal imaging expert and commercial drone advocate will be stepping into the role following his most recent position as head of global industrial SUAS at FLIR Systems. So he's from FLIR, all right? Heralded as a visionary and influencer by media outlets, Warnes has been leaving his fingerprint on the commercial drone industry long before his time at FLIR. In 2014, he co-founded Drones Plus Incorporated, which is one of the largest brick-and-mortar drone stores in the world, and his insight netted him a position at DJI, where he launched the Chinese drones giant enterprise line soon after. And I'll let you guys. This is out on Autel's page, out on Facebook, and I will drop a link in the description. I already got to turn my light on. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry about that. I didn't think it was going to get dark this soon, but all right. Let there be light, and there's light. All right, we got light now. Hopefully, I'm not too drowned out. The overhead lights are too much in here, so I got to strike that balance. All right, it's kind of a shock, kind of a surprise. Are they going to be gearing more towards enterprise? Who knows? Okay. I mean, who knows what this move kind of signals? I mean, I would think, and this is just off the top of my head, guys, I would think that this is kind of gearing gearing them for a change in the company. Lauren's in the house. Welcome, Lauren. Scott Nadeau. B Wayne's in the house. Welcome, guys. I would think what this means is there's a change in store in the way Autel's going to run and do their business. All right. Personally, I think they may lean a little more towards enterprise, but I don't think they're going to disdain consumer at all because obviously it's been their bread and butter. I think you're probably going to be seeing even better cameras on there, better imaging cameras on Autel drones. So stay tuned for that. Let's see how that plays out. I would also assume, and I've got to, just because the market is, how much have we been talking about mini drones? It's really what, besides the Mavic 3, it's really what the story is, okay? And we're gonna get to the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro in a few here. But, you got to think that Autel has something in the works, guys. Matt, you're right. That's a good point. Drone delivery. I think Autel's probably gonna step up and get into that game as well. So we'll see. We'll see kind of where this leads. Excuse me. I'm really thinking, though, they got him probably for his camera knowledge. He worked at DJI. He has a good pedigree. So they picked a good guy. So we'll kind of see where this ends up heading into. Again, I got to think, though, that they have a Mini in the works, okay? An Autel Evo Mini in the works. I got to think that because, everybody and his brother's coming out with a Mini. Besides DJI, they probably, and as we know, and we're going to talk about in a few minutes, Mini 3's in the works. Fimi came out with one. Hubsan is coming out with one, which we're going to spend some time on. All these drone manufacturers are coming out with that. So, stay tuned on this. We'll see what goes on here. Now, there's some other news that came out. Now, I did find this on Drone DJ, and it is interesting because there is a new drone coming out. Okay, and the new drone is coming out from Parrot. All right. New Parrot drone slated for June 30th unveil. Okay, save the date. Robotics take flight June 30th, 4 p.m. CEST. And I got to look that up. I'm sure that's probably over in France, and I don't know how that translates over here. Okay, and I'll open this up so we can take a look at this here. There's really not a lot of information. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Aristotle. Robotics take flight. Parrot reveals the new drone for what really matters. New communication standard, open to developers, full open source app, autonomous photogrammetry, and new cybersecurity. Have an RSVP webinar link to get in this. This really sounds like, Parrot's direction is definitely towards enterprise level drones. And I think this is where Parrot is going with this. It's a shame because, I know Marcus sold his Anafi and he went and bought another one just because it was so good. And now evidently with the updates, the firmware updates, it got even better in terms of the range and the signal strength and everything. So stay tuned for Parrot. It's June 30th. Parrot is now an enterprise focused drone company, and that's where they're going to be spending their time and their effort. So it's nice to see. It kind of looks a little reminiscent, just a little bit, of the Anafi. With the thin body like that. So we'll see where this ends up. Okay, I have no idea. Of course, that could be a battery going into the drone. That's for all we know. So who knows? All right. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up on the 30th of June here. So have some more news from Drone DJ, and let's go ahead and get that up here. That's not, I wouldn't really call it. Okay. Now, our buddy our buddy Osita, he is just all over the place. Well, he did put out a tweet today. The end of mass production for Mavic 2 is near, according to some local resellers, and that was today. Okay, that's fresh news, but it's not really. It's fresh news from him, but it's really kind of old news because we've heard that, and we know our good friend Lauren has kind of clued us in on this as well, as far as it being the end of production for the Mavic 2 series, and it also talked about. Also, a week ago, a discount of 1,000 yuan was made for the Mavic 2 Zoom models, which remain on the Chinese retail side of DJI. This is a discount in volume that's not uncommon in DJI's working order. The new model is near. He's right, okay? Give Osita some credit here. He is right with this, with the Mavic 3 coming around the corner. And when I say around the corner, okay, it's June. We just hit June, okay? I would say I would look for this no sooner than August. That is just my opinion. Okay. It would be wonderful if August would be a 3 years since the Mavic 2 series came out. So I think that would kind of make sense, just in my opinion. There are no rumors of any other competitors coming out with any drones in the interim. So I think it's probably a good time frame for DJI to do it. And 2 months kind of gives them time to clear the shelves of the Mavic 2, clear that inventory and get ready for the Mavic 3. All right. Still no news about the Mavic 3. Of course, we'll stay on top of it. And as soon as there's an FCC filing, we'll make sure to get that out to you guys to let you know what we can expect from that. And there's a lot to glean from these FCC filings, so kind of stay tuned for that. Okay, we'll see what we get here. But like I said, this is on the horizon. We got this coming up here, so it's more evidence that it's on its way. All right, it's coming, and I'm sorry about the lighting in here. Like I said, I'm sorry. I know the solution, and I have to find space in a room that doesn't have any space right now. And you may have noticed we added a love seat back there, okay? Because on this wall over here, which you can't see, I have a 75-inch Sony, all right? So I call it now, instead of Penn's Den, okay, which was the name of the den back at our old house, I'm calling this a tech den because literally it is technology. Okay, it's just everywhere you look. There's my work desk here. There's my drone and other desk, which we'll be talking about. I'll be doing a video coming up on that, and then have the entertainment area here too. So got a lot going on in here, but the lighting, okay, it has canned lights in here. There's 6 of them up above, which is good, but it's really bright and it gets warm in a hurry. So, one of the first things I do after this broadcast is over is I shut those lights off and I turn this other one on over here. Now I'm going to be fine. Like I said, I got to find a way to get this light, and then I have another light exactly like it to put it over and back, and I got to find that room. So, yeah. So, all right. Okay. Now we're going to move on here a little bit, and I was. One of the persons I've been interested in following has been Ron Brown with the Fimi Mini X8 Mini. Of course, Marcus too, but he's getting. I think his has gone out to get repaired. And as we all know, B&H has shipped theirs. Good news for me. I received an email from AliExpress. Mine is shipped. I can expect that on or about June 20th. All right, and also too. I know Marcus, and I also know, myself, and I'm sure several others, content creators, where Fimi has reached out to us, and they're going to be sending us the other battery, okay, the battery that makes it 249 grams. So there's a test right away with that. So we'll see how this goes, all right? And the one thing I got to say about all this, guys, is, how interesting this drone is, because it seems to be different. Okay, for Ron, it was different. For Marcus, it was different. For G-Man, it's been different for a lot of people out there, and a lot of people have gotten some good video. There's been the shakes. There's just been a lot of things with this. So, not sure what we're going to get. Hopefully, maybe a later production model may be better. Who knows? We'll find out. That's June 20th, so stay tuned for that. That battery's coming as well. But Ron had some, connection issues, some other things. He applied the update. Go check some of his videos out. He's done some good testing on that. So I'm looking forward to getting mine and getting this up in the air and getting it out there and getting it tested for you guys. Okay. So Bill got the new Saturday Night Fever mini drone. Yes, I do. Okay. You see that behind me. Quick story. I digress for a second from drones. Okay. My college reunion, not quite 10 years ago. Okay. We went up. I graduated from college in 1980. So, Saturday Night Fever came out then. And the gentleman who organized the reunion, he gave away prizes to people. Now, this gentleman lived in my dorm, okay? So he knew the music that I played at the time, and everybody was playing Saturday Night Fever. So what did he get me? A legit Saturday Night Fever album, okay? Legit. I don't know if it was his. I don't know if he found it on eBay, but he handed out a lot of albums that night to other people. And I kind of felt honored by that. Anyway, okay, I digress for a minute there. All right, now you got the story. Now, Ridge Flyer 32, you got the story behind all that. All right, so the topic of the evening, okay? Hubsan Zino Mini live event this Saturday, June 5th, 2021, okay? Let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I don't want to play the video because I don't want to get, I don't want to get my hand slapped by Hubsan saying you didn't ask for permission, da 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 da. But I can show you a screenshot or advance it to a point because I'm not really playing the video, okay? And I think that would come under their fair use. So I think we're good with some of this, okay? Now the first thing, it lists the times worldwide that this is going to happen, and I have no clue about other countries, okay? It shows here now Washington, okay, which would be for the United States. This is going to happen on Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm assuming 10 a.m. Okay, that's kind of what it sounds like. So we'll see. I have to kind of decipher that. All right. Now, what else they're going to do during this live demo is they call it a lucky draw. So 10 people are going to win a Zino Mini Pro. So, and I have no idea. There's no information on how to win that Zino Mini Pro. So my guess is tune in and find out, okay? Now they say there's a product manager with on-site FAQ. So that's going to be very interesting. And I think probably the best thing to do with something like this, guys, instead of trying to get your questions answered, sit back and watch, because your questions are going to be asked. I guarantee you that, okay? Questions like, why haven't we seen anything till now? All your questions, guys, they're going to be answered, all right? So sit back, relax, and watch this. And the nice thing about this is, guys, it's going to be out there on YouTube. So you can go back and watch it again, all right, and listen to this again. So this is that was interesting. I'm glad they're doing that. Okay, they're going to be doing things like a hovering test, live weighing of now because it's 249 grams. They're going to go ahead and do that. So that's it. It's a 20-second video. Okay, there's not much to this video, but This is going to be a huge event this Saturday. All right, we're gonna see Hubsan. It's as they say, it's put up or shut up time. Okay, it's put up or shut up time for Hubsan, guys. All right, it really is. Okay, Bob M, thank you. Okay, it is 10 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, so that'll be for those of you, and I want you guys to stay tuned because after that event is over, okay, I'm going to have it set up, live event set up for 11 a.m. that day. We're going to take a look at things. If I can get Ron available and join me, or one of my other good subscribers, so we can get on there and digest this, talk about it, mull it over. So be on the lookout. I'm going to set something up. Tentatively, I'll set it up for like 11 a.m. on Saturday. But, if that runs longer, obviously, we're flexible. But as soon as that's over, we're going to go live and we're going to talk about what we found out about this. All right. It's going to be very interesting to see. Number one, okay, we have heard, and it's stated on Hubsan's main site, Johnny, you need to sell me a bigger house. Johnny, we just moved, okay? And let me tell you this, all right? The only way I will ever move again is if everybody, or if somebody wants me to move, they're going to have to come in and pack every single item, and they're going to have to unpack every single item, and they're going to have to put it where both my wife and I want it. That's the only way we're ever moving again in life, okay? You got a tall order there, Johnny, if you want that to happen, okay? You can get me a bigger house, but you got to do the lock, stock, and barrel move, and I mean everything. I don't want to have to lift a finger, okay? All right, I'll digress here for just a second on this, all right? Friday, I took Friday off. Did I go fly drones? I would have loved to have gone to fly drones on Friday. Do you know what I did? I spent over 10 hours in the garage. I got 8 sets of shelves hooked up, went through our old containers worth of stuff, put them in new containers. Somebody's going to come up and pick up the old containers. There was a reason for that. And if you looked on my timeline, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I got a new vehicle. I got a 2021 Highlander Platinum all-wheel drive, dark brown. Take a look at it. That color is awesome. Simply awesome. Anyway, okay, I digressed here. All right. Now, with DJI has set the bar on mini drones. All right. There's no question about it. All right. The Mini 2 is the drone. All right. It's the drone to own. All right. As far as a mini drone is concerned. I mean, there's at least 13,000 people that are on the Mini 2 group that I run. It's a good page. A lot of good ideas are suggested there. All right. Well, with, okay. Fimi decides to stick their finger in the race here. Okay. Stick their hand in the race, whatever, stick their finger in the pie. Okay. And they come up with a Mini, but okay. How's their Mini turned out? It's been at best a mixed bag. Okay. Hopefully firmware updates will take care of some of this stuff, but like Marcus had, he needed to get his gimbal replaced. Okay. Thank you, Ray Kelly. Thank you very much. I am absolutely loving it. I only have 48 miles on it because, it's the holiday weekend, not really going anywhere. So, but go out to my timeline, take a look at it if you want. So, all right. Just checking the chat out here. No, okay, B. Wayne. Enjoy seeing new products, but knowing Hubsan and owning a few, I'm skeptical until it's a proven product. B. Wayne, you probably said it best. That was one of the things that I was going to bring up. There's been a lot of hit and misses with the Zino series. Okay, now when the Zino 1 came out, you've heard Ron and Marcus chronicle their adventures with the Zino 1, and it was a challenge. to say the least, to get that to where it was a good platform to shoot video from and take pictures from. The firmware updates, the process of going through that was just incredibly painful. I mean, having to bend pins on the controller and bypass stuff, and just, I mean, it was just, I mean, seriously, it was just an absolute nightmare for that. So, it's like, let me do something here for a second. Yeah, it was painful. It was absolutely painful. Then the Zino 2 comes along, and there was a lot of promise there, and then the lens flare issue crops up. All right. And then there's the dealing with customer service with Hubsan. Okay. That's one thing that leaves a lot to be desired. And we are joined now by Mr. Ron Brown. How are you, sir?
That's what. Good, Bill. Sorry, I had to mute the audience that I was watching earlier.
No. Thank you for.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late to the show tonight. I hope everyone is doing well out in the chat. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day holiday. Bill, how was your Memorial Day?
We had a great holiday. We went up to our clubhouse. They had a barbecue up there for everybody. Incredibly good food. Got to meet a lot of other people in the community. It was fantastic. We could not have asked for better.
So you're loving it over there at the new digs.
Absolutely. It's nice to expand the horizons. So we were.
Is it true? You were driving a new Toyota around these days?
It sure is. I got a 21 Highlander Platinum all-wheel drive, and
congratulations.
Thank you. It has every bell and whistle you want to imagine on it, and then some. It has a heads-up display in front of the driver. It shows the speed, and also if you're in the lanes or not.
My wife say she's had a couple Highlanders in a row now, and she's very happy. She used to have the 4Runner, and she kind of does downsize a little bit because the Highlander is more car-like than the Toyota is more truck-like. You came from a Toyota truck type Toyota truck, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the best part about this, Ron, there were no surprises when I walked into the dealership. I mean, it was the price that was quoted, the payments, whole 9 yards, everything.
Plus, a Toyota truck trades in well, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. They're gonna make a killing. Somebody's gonna eat a lot of steak.
It's probably already not on the lot anymore.
Oh, I don't doubt it for a second. I know they cleaned it up, got it serviced, and got it ready, and got it to go out. So
hey folks, sorry I derailed the show. I turned it into This Week in Toyota instead of drones. Bill, you were about to ask me a drone question.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were talking about, and I think you probably saw, Hubsan put out a little promo.
A little promo video. And I got a question to ask you. What is 10 o'clock UTC?
Okay.
For us people on the East Coast.
Good question. And someone in our chat said it is 10 a.m. So it's 10 a.m. on Saturday.
So you and I will be up early that morning with our coffee in hand, kicking back, huh?
Yeah, and you're welcome to join me afterwards for a post-show analysis.
I was going to say a little pop-up show.
Yeah, we're going to do a little pop-up show afterwards to talk about this. I know Marcus is going to be on vacation.
Marcus is going to be on assignment this weekend.
He's on assignment in Montana this weekend. So, but one of the things that was interesting, they're having a giveaway. They're having a giveaway, and they're going to have a question and answer session, which I thought was really interesting.
DJI's never done a Q&A, online Q&A after release, have they?
No, not at all.
Did they do a Q&A at the event you attended in New York? See the bigger picture?
No, it wasn't not necessarily. I mean, you could talk to these guys like one-on-one afterwards, right, and ask them questions. But during the event, no, it was just straight up the event. And then when it was done, they took us over. They removed the curtain, and there were at least 6 or 7 tables set up with the drones on the tables to take a look at them. So, but no, there was no Q&A there at that event, which I thought was with Hubsan doing it, I mean, that's kind of a leg up. Nobody has really kind of taken the time to do that. I mean, and one of the things that I run, and I wanted to run this by you as well, a lot of people are going to want to try to jam in there and get a question and everything. And I just said, just lay back, okay? Don't, try to jam questions in there, because somebody's going to ask the question that you want, okay? I guarantee you that, all right? So just kind of sit back, watch, and look listen to what the answers are.
Well, I mean, I know we're early. We haven't seen the event yet, but even before the event, would there be a question you would want to ask him right now? Again, that's not fair because you haven't seen the event yet, but is there any said question you have this far out that you would like to ask Hubsan?
Oh, for me, my question is this: why haven't we seen any? Why haven't we seen any video from the drone, and why haven't we seen any video of the drone?
Just like you talked about, it's a question a lot of people ask. So not everybody needs to ask it because it's going to be asked. But of course, that'll be a moot point. Hopefully, that'll be a moot point after the event. Hopefully, we will not only see the drone in hand, but we will all see the flight footage for the drone, which is just as important to seeing the drone in hand. But we want to see both Saturday, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that people are really looking forward to, is to seeing that footage and seeing that footage live. I mean, that's going to be a real. I mean, Hubsan's really kind of sticking their neck out here on this one.
I know you don't want to go get too excited, but I know kind of what you're getting at. If they do this right, this could be like a one of a kind, never before seen drone launch, right? If they do it right.
Oh yeah, if they do this right, they'll set the bar pretty high, okay? And others are going to have to follow with this. And DJI,
I mean, let's put it this way: as far as challenging DJI, I mean, Autel has kind of challenged them at the high end of the spectrum. Like the first Evo 1 was sort of a competitor to the Mavic, the Mavic 2 Pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not number one, it says it, but nobody's ever kind of gave DJI a big challenge at the lower end. I mean, I know we've had all these wannabes, but none of them really panned out. This will be the first real assault at DJI's low end drones.
Yeah, it will. And Ron, if this pans out, this is kind of make or break for Hubsan. I mean, that's one of the things that I think, I know you and I and Marcus have talked about, is it's really going to define them as a company. And can they push through and put out a quality product that's not going to need a lot of software updates, but it's going to do exactly what it said it's going to do out of the box.
Right. And I mean, I admire him for basically putting all the cards in, right? I mean, not sort of like straddling the fence of between a toy drone and maybe a good drone or whatever. They're not just straddling the middle. They're all in, Bill. The card,
they are.
They pushed all the chips in.
Well, and I have to say this, okay? Doing something like this live, okay, it's a big risk, okay? Because if there's some, I'm sure that they're going to test this drone, the drone that they're going to use. I'm sure that they're going to test the daylights out of it. But okay, we all know what can happen with a live event. I mean, and I'm sure you know about this. When Geraldo went to open Al Capone's vault, okay, what a bust, okay. And I'm just hoping that this isn't that same kind of thing, that they're going to put the sticks together. It's going to take off. You're going to see video, boom. There's going to be no problems. I'm hoping that, put the sticks together, nothing, and, see somebody fiddling around. I don't think we're going to see that. I think they'll make sure that this thing works before the event.
Yeah, kind of like Steve Jobs, those live Apple events he used to do. He practiced until there was no room for a mistake. But real quick, though, back to that time, 10 a.m. for us. I wonder what time that is in China, because I really don't want to see the drone fly at night, because I believe they hid the lens flare issue on a Zino 2. Remember all the pre-flights were these night flights where they were flying over this bridge in this water. So maybe they knew they had a lens flare issue. So they said, well, we'll just fly at night. The camera look fine at night. In fact, the Zino 2 camera was good at night And I think because the problem was, I think the camera let in too much light, so it was a good night flyer if that's what you were looking for.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, because what I remember from going to the Mavic 2 event in New York City, because it was at 10 o'clock. Okay, now they said a lot of folks are up late over in Shenzhen. Okay, so it's going to be at night. Now, here's another thing. And I'm not sure if people have thought about this. They did not mention where they're going to be doing this live event from. They could be doing it here in the United States, okay?
Right.
Which would make a lot of sense. Which I hope they do, because a night event, Ron, it's just like you said. It covers up a lot of sins, okay? It covers up a lot of problems.
And not only were that night flying at the Zino 2, but they were also flying that thing. They put in meters, but for us, they were flying over 1,000 feet high. So that kind of covers range issues up, because everything gets a better signal when it's like 1,000 feet in the air. There's no interference that high. So I need to see the flight test at 400 feet or under. I don't want to see any 1,000 feet flight test, because that's no, it doesn't tell me anything. Okay, well, there's no interference up there. Of course, it's going to fly good.
Yeah, and you're right. You need to be 400 feet or below to really get an idea on how this drone handles. In the weight issue. Okay, and I know we've talked about it round and round and round with these mini drones. Okay, and it's you get 20-mile-an-hour winds. It starts to become problematic. No matter which, because it's 249 grams, and that's another thing that I wanted to say. They're having a weigh test. Okay, they're going to weigh the drone on a scale to see, to show that it's 249 grams.
Almost like a boxing match. How we're going to have to weigh it.
It's like a boxing match
for the featherweight title. Now, I mean, I know people have concerns about how this drone will handle the wind because of the lightweight, but I can tell you the Phoebe Mini, is as good in the wind as the DJI Mini 2, and it's faster. It's faster, more powerful. So it won't be a surprise that this Mini 2, the Hubsan drone's good in the wind, because the Fimi, for all the Fimi's faults, flying in the wind or flying powerfully is not one of his issues. Bill, your Phoebe's coming in maybe this week?
No, it's coming in on the 20th, they said.
Okay.
But and also too, and I think you probably know, Marcus and I, we're getting batteries from Fimi. The other battery, the battery that gets it to the 240.
Good battery, yeah.
So that's going to be real interesting to see how that battery pans out with that. I talked a little bit about your, I've watched, several of your videos with the Fimi Mini, and you've had a lot of trials and tribulations with it. I mean, it's like you'll get some good flight, and then you were having signal issues and dropping, and just well,
I've got some updates for you. That I've talked to Growman, our friend Growman up in Canada, who's probably done the best job of anybody out there reviewing this Phoebe 2. He's got a whole series of videos, and he really gets technical. He gets deep in the woods on this. And he showed me, he made a video where if you put what I was trying to do, I was trying to raise the gimbal. So I saw 1/3 ground and 2/3 sky, because a couple times I've flown it, I've had those great puffy clouds in the sky. So I wanted to feature them more on the ground. Well, as soon as I take off, it pushes it down. So what he showed is basically it wants to show 1/3 of the sky and 2/3 of the ground. So you basically, it's fine if you just aim it down like that to begin with.
Yeah.
But who wants to fly looking at mostly the ground all the time? Sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't, right?
Yeah. You want to strike a nice balance between the two. I mean, and like you said, when you got those nice puffy clouds and you want to focus on them, you really don't want to see the ground too much. You want to see that, and a lot of times you want to have a nice mix of that. So
John Coopy just got his Phoebe kind of just a few days ago, and he had the same exact thing, pushing the gimbal down. But I haven't really talked to him. Maybe he's in the chat tonight. That Growman, the same thing happens with his. But you just you can't show 2/3 of the sky with it.
Yeah,
at this point until they get that corrected. So luckily, hopefully it's a known issue, and hopefully the engineers are working on it. They've slightly improved the horizon issue. it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was at first. And Growman even manually adjusts his like 0.6 or something like that. He's got a pretty good looking horizon right now. It's a shame you have to, manually adjust it. But yeah, I know as a DJI flyer, nobody ever says, "Well, I'm manually adjusting my horizon."
Yeah, it's like that's a given with DJI. You don't even think twice out of the box, no matter what drone, that you're going to have any horizon issues with that. And the thing, and I know I've talked about it with you and Marcus, has been, doggone it, Ron, how long have they had that horizon issue? Okay, it's just like one of those things that doesn't. It's like that thorn in the side. It just doesn't go away.
Did I forget? Did they have that? What was the drone they had before the Fimi X8? What was the
A3?
Yeah. Oh, they but then they had that bigger one. It was sort of a Xiaomi Fimi combination. A lot of people. Did that one have the horizon too?
I don't know. I know Marcus had that one of those. Okay, I think
a lot of guys had that thing. Ryan Duvall had it too.
Yeah, I didn't have that one. So
remember, famously Ken Herron. They sent one to Ken Herron, and he did one of those. He really killed it on his review.
Oh, I bet it was just now. It had a real lens fog issue. I think that was. I know that's what Marcus said about that one. It was just horrible. It really clouded things up. But with the Zino Mini Pro, I mean, they're saying June 10th. I think they're going to start shipping. Are they going to start shipping them then? Are they going to be shipped and be able to get them by then? Who knows? Okay, now
at the worst case scenario, they start shipping from June 10th to some far-flung port in Asia, and it rides on a container boat for a month. That's the worst case scenario.
Well, it's said on Hubsan USA site 2 to 3 days shipping. So I assume they're going to have stock in here in the United States. I'm just making that assumption. Okay. Right. And I would say if June 10th is a date, Ron, I would say that stock's already here in the United States. Because to take time to, get it shipped across the ocean, to have to go through customs and everything, I'm thinking it's already here. I'm thinking.
Well, I sure hope you're right. I sure hope you're right on this.
I do too.
Right, and that would be the way to do it. That would be showing we're a real company and we're ready to do business. If what you just said happens, if the product's here and it ships on 2 or 3 days after ordering on the 10th, now that's a real drone company.
Exactly. Okay. And and I hate to say it, and I said this before you joined me. It's like Hubsan customer service. It's like, ooh, it's like going to the dentist, getting your tooth pulled, or having a filling without any Novocaine. I mean, it just doesn't work. Okay. It's a painful process, and Hubsan customer service is, pretty much non-existent. Okay. It's like you email them and it seems like this email goes into a vacuum and you never hear from them again. Okay.
Yeah. And a lot's changed. I mean, in the old days when the Zino first came out, they were still selling a lot of their, with the 501 drones or whatever. There used to be a place in California, and you could actually talk. I forget the girl's name that used to work there. She was the head of the place. Well, I should say woman, and you could talk to her on the phone or email or whatever. And, and it was a slow email thing. Like, it would take a couple of days for her to respond to emails, but still, if there's somebody there and you were getting some attention, you could, if they couldn't fix it by sending you, do this, do that, or whatever, you could send it back to them there. But that sort of all disappeared. Sort of between the Zino 1 and the Zino 2, all those people were let go. A lot of these facilities were shut down. So,
and that's part of the thing, Ron. Okay. Everybody said, now, one of the things I can say about the consumer drone companies. Okay. The one company to me that stands out for customer service. Okay. Now I'm excluding of drones that I've owned has been Autel. Okay. They were super responsive to issues that I had. They gave me, okay, Ron, they not only replaced my battery, okay, they gave me another battery. I didn't have to send the old one back. All right. Because I found a way, some of the cells were off balance and everything. And they said, that's fine. We can see that's an issue. We're going to go ahead and replace that, and we'll send you an extra one. no charge. Okay, no charge. It was that kind of customer service. Now I've heard that was pared down a little bit because of restructuring and whatnot. Now Autel has a new CEO. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I did.
Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier. He has a pretty good pedigree. Part of the time he's worked at DJI. Okay, he just comes from FLIR, so it's going to be real interesting to see the direction Autel heads.
So he's been around the drone industry for a while. So
yeah, he's got his feet are very wet, and it's going to be interesting to see. And like I said, and this is one thing, it's a mini world. Okay, things have gotten smaller, and I gotta believe, Ron, that Autel has a mini drone in the works. I mean, really.
I really thought that what Hubsan's attempting to do here is make a drone that's better than the Mini 2, but not quite as good as the Air 2. They found a gap in there, and I'm surprised Autel didn't fill that gap already. They make a drone that's sort of between the two, the price point's in the middle of the two, and kind of gets the people that they want a little bit more than Mini 2 offers as far as intelligent flight features and so on, but they don't need a 1-inch sensor. They don't need some of the more advanced features. There is a market in between there, and Hubsan went after it first, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't have my Phoebe drone. Phoebe sort of kind of halfway went at it because you could do waypoints and you do advanced features on the Phoebe Mini, so they kind of went in that market, but they didn't go all in like the Mini Pro is going to do from Hubsan.
And the other thing is, I think Hubsan, say what you will, and I know a lot of people talk about it like it's a painful the price point. Okay, I think they did well on their price point for this drone, Ron, for the features that it's going to offer for what you're getting. Now, I ordered one with 2 batteries and a carrying case, and I was very pleased with the price that I paid for that. Okay, very pleased.
Yeah. They'll only be $10 more than the Mini 2. And offer a lot more features. I mean, you're getting a lot for your extra $10.
Yeah, and like I said, and I said this earlier, that Frank Wang and the crew at DJI has the Mini 3s in the works. And I've seen a couple of comments, and I've seen a couple of things in forums and group pages that it's already beta testing. They're already, it's already geared up. And I would expect, and this is just me, I would expect another November release for something like that because of timing.
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, we're all sitting around waiting for the Mavic 3 or whatever, but we still expect, of course, a Mini 3 to come out this year, and we're still looking for the Osmo Action 2. Correct, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
And are they the only 3 products from DJI coming out the rest of the year from DJI, or do you, because were they up to date? What's the one with the little handheld with the gimbal on the Pocket? You expect another Pocket this year?
No, I don't expect another Pocket, but I do expect the Osmo Action 2. I do expect, well, obviously the Mavic 3 and then the Mini 3. Those are the ones I expect.
They're the ones are coming.
For consumers,
anything else discounting. What do you call it? Enterprise type stuff or whatever.
Yeah, not including enterprise.
Now, to the Osmo Action 2, I mean, in my mind, the only way they can make a big splash, do they really need to just duplicate the Hero 9? The only way they can make a big splash is to make it a 1-inch sensor action camera, right?
Yeah.
I mean, cloning the Hero 9, why even bother, right?
Yeah. Now look what Fly Zone Drones put up. They're already working on the DJI Air 3. The Mini 3 and Mavic 3 is done. Now working on the Air 3. So
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree, Michael, but the Air 3 won't be this year. They're working on it, but that's hey, Lauren's got your Mini 3 date there,
November 5th. Okay.
Yeah. Which is basically the date that they've we've seen the first 2 minis, but of course the Osmo. Well, we don't put the Osmo in, but the Action. I mean, the Action, will that be a fall are they going to skip summer and that'll be a fall release coming out against the GoPro Hero schedule, or will they bump that up into summer, Bill?
I gotta think that they're gonna bump that up because of summer. Because think about and I've said this before. The market here in the United States, you want to have that. What am I trying to say?
I mean, you want two things. A lot of companies want to have stuff to come out for the holidays, which is one thing, but also you want to have time to release the products. For instance, you wouldn't want to release, if you were a clothing company, you wouldn't want to release a new bathing suit line in November.
Right. The timing on it is everything. And, you still want to do it, especially in the North American market, where you want to still have some time for people to get out and about. Now, I know with something like that, it's not really, season dependent, but, more people are going to get out and use it when the weather's nicer versus, when it starts to get cold, especially, up in the, up north where you got.
If you live above South Carolina, after about Halloween, your outdoor time is greatly decreased.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and I know the frustrations that you and Marcus have when, the weather starts to turn colder, gets windy. You start to get rain, snow, all that kind of stuff that just dampers your stuff. Okay. And,
right.
It just wreaks havoc with it. And down here in Florida, one of the Achilles heels and one of the things that's been, Ron, and I have to say this, the wind has wreaked havoc down here with being able to fly. I mean, you saw what happened at the event. Okay.
At the Great Florida Drone Meetup, the wind was, it just made it not as fun.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately it's been like that this whole year. And lately we had rain the other day, and we maybe got about 1/10 of an inch. All right. We're going through a drought. We haven't had good rain in at least 2 months down here. I mean, it's really, really dry. It's not good at all. So, but weather plays into these kind of things. As far as that's concerned.
Yeah, and back to the action or whatever. I mean, in this day and era, well, the COVID's kind of pretty much the COVID's kind of in the back rear view mirror now. We've kind of moved past the worst of it, and now people are going to take their summer vacations. A lot of people summer vacation at the beaches, the mountains, the national parks. And in the old days, Dad may have had the 8mm camera, but guess what? The 8mm and the what were the VHS cameras everybody used to have in the 80s, real big?
Oh yeah,
camcorder. They're all gone now. Today's 8mm, today's camcorder is your action camera.
Yeah,
because you take it to all these places at the beach. Doesn't matter if a wave hits it at the mountain. Doesn't matter if it falls down the mountain a little bit or whatever. These cameras are perfect for those outdoor summer adventures.
Okay, now I gotta say this. Now that you mentioned the word camcorder, okay, I spent 10 hours out in the garage on Friday trying to get it ready to take cars in because we still haven't been able to park in the garage. One of the things I came across was my VHS-C camcorder. It had the mini VHS-C.
I remember that. Yeah,
you put in there. And you know how much this thing is? I figured, man, I could probably get some good money for it on eBay. You know how much this Panasonic is? I paid over $1,000 for it. Okay. You know how much it's selling for on eBay?
$25.
$25. Okay. It's just,
Because what everybody does nowadays, they take all those tapes down, or they actually don't take them anymore. They mail them into one of those places that converts them over the digital for them. Or used to be DVD. Now they probably we'll just send you a thumb drive with the digital files on it.
I found a device on Amazon, Ron. What it does, it has a screen on it. It's about $65. All right. You plug it in to your camcorder or to your VHS player. All right. And it has an SD card, and you get to see, and it copies everything over. I mean, it's a seamless process. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that. I have a bunch of VHS tapes, and I'm going to be doing that and get them all. So this summer, when
it's 100 degrees out or whatever, we'll know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's gonna. I'm not going to. And I got to say this, okay. And a lot of people think, oh, you live in Florida, you can go out and fly all the time. Let me tell you something, okay. Between the hours of 10 to 4-ish, you don't want to be outside. the sun is at its peak, okay, and you will get burned to a crisp. Even if you bathe in sunscreen, okay, it will just not be conducive. Well, one of the things my wife and I did, we've been walking up. Our mail's at a kiosk, okay, and we've been walking up to get the mail, and we're going to continue that because it's a wonderful walk. It's about a mile all told, which is great.
Right.
But one of the things we're going to start doing is going up there in our swimming trunks and going to the pool because the sun is setting. It's open. The pool's open till 9. Okay. So we can get in there and there's like nobody there at that time of day. I mean, there's like very few.
And I bet that water's nice and warm then too.
It is. It's nice and warm.
What do they say? Bath water? Jumping in bath water almost.
Pretty much. I mean, there's nobody there, which makes it so nice. You just got to bring your key because you need your key to get in through the gate. Right. But other than that, and it's nice. I mean, it's real nice. But yeah, between those hours, you can't go fly drones. I mean, it's insane.
Plus, like we've heard, Marcus and many other, your phone's going to overheat. Yeah. And you don't want to be one of those people sitting in your car with your air conditioner blasting for your flight.
Yeah. You can't. That's not really. I mean, it's flying, but it's not really flying. Okay.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. So,
right.
Are you going to be on with Mikey tonight?
Yeah. We're going on a few minutes here. So,
good deal.
I don't know if any particular agenda. I know Mikey had crashed I think his son had crashed the FPV drone. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. I think it's crashed, but it's not like it won't have to be a refresh care thing. I think it could be repaired by Mikey.
Oh, that's good.
Because Mikey got those braces. A lot of people have those braces on the side arms. He has his braces, and it did crash in the grass. And one more story. Did you hear about this? Captain Ray got his Fimi Mini a couple days ago, and today he flew for the first time, and he had trouble. The sticks wouldn't work. He could hit automatic takeoff. It would go up, and he would hit automatic takeoff and land, but the sticks wouldn't work. So Johnny Donefire was working tech for him, and we thought, well, maybe he needed to take a cell phone case off because it wouldn't fit properly. There's a man with a Mini. Welcome in, Marcus. I'm telling Captain Ray's story here. But what it turned out to be, Bill, is it's a button on the side of the Fimi controller that says Wi-Fi. And it was flipped on Wi-Fi. And what that is, if you want to fly it with just your phone.
Oh, wow.
So he got a nice picture of his fish pond or whatever eventually. So he did get it gone. So, Marcus can tell you with the Phoebe Mini is always an adventure. Now, Marcus, is that your new Phoebe Mini that was delivered today?
Yeah, that's the one. It just came today.
This is the Jet Martin edition, everybody.
Jet Martin. And I really want to publicly thank Jet. What he allowed me to do was take over his order from B&H, and they just shipped it directly to my house. I just charged this guy up, took it over to the school next door just now, took it for a flight, and man, it looked really good. It flew just fine. No jiggles on the
no gimbal shake.
Gimbal that I could tell.
Good.
Of course, I haven't looked at the video off the SD card, but it looked good on FPV. It did have at different times a little bit of a tilt in the horizon, but it would very quickly even out. Particularly if you did a quick yaw movement or something, I'd get a little bit of a crooked horizon. Not horrible, but it was there, and it would very quickly even out. I tried to stress test the gimbal as much as I could because I know, Ron, you've had issues with yours, the gimbal dropping. I saw none of that. I tried it. Our friend John Coopy, when he flies his in reverse, his gimbal gets all weird. I couldn't see any of that kind of behavior with this guy. I also put it in sport mode, full stick forward, and yes, then the gimbal would drop a little bit. But I'm quite sure that's engineered into the drone so that you don't get that see the props in the shot, just like DJI does. And as far as batteries, I just have the standard battery. Fimi, just like Bill the drone reviewer, Fimi is sending me one of the Pro batteries, so hopefully have that soon. But anyway, I was pleased with the performance of this one. It wasn't It wasn't perfect, but it was good. And I even tried a couple of the I think they don't call them quick shots, whatever Fimi calls them. I did a spiral and I did a rocket, and it worked okay.
Decent.
Executed a good return to home. So yeah.
Hey, okay, folks. Now Marcus's Mini 2 will be on eBay tomorrow, so you can put your bids in.
Stop, Ron. I can't take you anywhere, can I?
Hey, I do an update for you, Marcus. So I told Growman about my gimbal problem, right? And in his most recent video, he demonstrated he put the gimbal up like I did, where basically you get 2/3 of the sky and 1/3 of the ground. He took off and it put it right down. And what you have to do is you have to fly it showing like 1/3 of the sky and 2/3 of the ground, and then you'll be okay. But you cannot raise that gimbal. And why I had mine so high is I had big puffy clouds 2 to 3 times I flew it. I wanted to get those big puffies in, but as at this point, he said, Growman, he tested it out. It doesn't let you angle like that. It puts it down to where you get only 1/3 of the sky.
Yeah. So to be fair, Ron, I did not try that. So
we all need to try that. And I unfortunately, I had terrible weather all weekend. I didn't get to fly today. I was busy. By the time I got home, it was cloudy and windy. I want to test that. And I want to test what happens if you fly it backwards.
That's interesting. That's the first time I've ever heard anything about issues flying it backwards with Koopy. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I mean,
yeah.
You would think when you're backing it up that the gimbal really wouldn't behave oddly at all.
Yeah, because we know with even like my Mavic 2 Pro, if I flew it into a stiff enough wind, it wouldn't not like the feed, but it would slowly push the gimbal down on me. But of course, I could fly it backwards any wind I wanted to, and the gimbal was fine then.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear about that. I mean, it really is. So.
I mean, it's funny how these companies like, Phoebe and I'll throw Hubsan in, they come up with the most unusual issues or whatever. You mean like they come up with some crazy issue you've never heard before or whatever. It's almost like, how do they, like the lens flare issue on the Zino 2 and the gimbal going down and forever, the never ending crooked horizon. How do they even come up with these weird problems?
Well, one of the things that I'm kind of hoping for here, and it's good to hear that Marcus had I'll call it a good test flight today.
What would you grade that test flight, Marcus? What if you had to give it a B, C, D, or F?
I'm going to call it because I did see a little bit of a tilted horizon. I'm going to call it a B plus. Okay. Now, obviously, I haven't looked at the video off the SD card, so that's so preliminary. I mean, I could look at that video and maybe I'll see something that I didn't see on the FPV.
It could have dropped to straight B. And folks, remember, Marcus is graded as he's grading the curve. He's graded on the curve that's a $319 drone for him or whatever. Again, Growman makes a good point. At a certain price point, it's a good drone. At a higher price point, it's not such a good drone.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. If this was a $500 drone, that grade would have been much less.
Well, one of the things that I'm hopeful about is that maybe, because, and I said this earlier, this is before you guys joined, was, it was like it was like tossing a coin. What kind of drone did you get, when you opened the Fimi Mini? Okay. Your experience, Marcus, you got 2 totally different drones.
Yeah, that original Mini that I had, I mean, obviously the gimbal was wobbling around, and honestly, it was the point that, I just wouldn't have used the drone because it kind of ruined it for me, right? So yeah, at least this one, the gimbal seems to be stable. So hey, that's a move in the right direction.
That's a plus.
You didn't buy a Monday or Friday model. You bought one where the ribbon cable guy was working hard that day.
Hey, the other thing that we need to mention though is that it's really a fun little drone to fly. It's a sporty little guy. It'll move right along, and they did. I believe, and Ron, I'll let you chime in, but I think they did a reasonable job with the flight controls, etc. It flies.
Yeah.
Really good.
I haven't even touched my flight controls, even tuned them in yet, and they're not that bad just out of the box. And before you got on, Marcus, Bill had expressed concerns for the drone people in general, the drone community in general, about the mini drone not being able to fly, well in the wind or handle itself. And I assured them that the Phoebe Mini is every bit as good in the wind as the DJI drone, and maybe a little more powerful too. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Hubsan Mini Pro is also just as robust in the wind.
We can hope.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we know there's the Zino 2 Pro was just as robust as any of the DJI drones, probably a little bit faster than the Mavic 2 Pro. So there's no reason to think that, they're going to go back and make the Mini Pro underpowered.
So, guys, I'm leaving for Montana tomorrow. And
what time are you getting up?
We're going to get up early and get on the road, but I just want to run my drone kit by you guys and see if
what's in Marcus's bag segment of the show.
What? Pardon me?
In photography videos, they always say, "What's in my bag?"
Yeah, what's in the bag? Yeah. So, because I want to try this guy out some more, of course I'm going to take it with me. But then also, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, so I'm sure you guys will agree. But I'm taking obviously the Air 2S,
right,
as well as the Mini 2. Right, so 3 drones.
You may need to load that video. Well, I'm sorry, I talked over you, Marcus. What was your last drone?
Well, so the Air 2S, the Mini 2, and then the X8 Mini, and then I was considering taking the Skydio with me, but I just don't think I'm going to be in a situation that. So I'm going to leave that one home.
Just let track the Tahoe all the way to Wyoming.
That's exactly
right. The Tahoe all the way up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you heard, Marcus, but Saturday, Hubsan's having their live show at 10 a.m. Ron and I are gonna. Ron's welcome to join. We're gonna go on right away after the show's over, kind of do a recap of things and see where things are at. I mean, it's going to be an interesting event, and like Ron said, it's kind of a groundbreaking event because DJI's never done anything like that before.
Hubsan, yeah.
For Hubsan.
Hey, excuse me, but I better run. I'm getting called for another show. But thanks for having me on tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
Have safe travels and send us a couple pictures from the road here, some of the scenic locations you visit.
You can count on that, Mr. Brown.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Ron.
So yeah, Bill, I'll be in Clancy, Montana on that day, on that Saturday. So look it up on the map.
I will.
But that'll be 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So I'm not sure if I'll get to see that thing live or not.
Well, yeah, just if you're up, join the chat. I mean,
there you go.
I'll throw out a link if you're really ambitious and can talk Sarah into it. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I probably won't. I'm guessing I'll go on 11 Eastern because I'm figuring it's going to be at least an hour. That's just a kind of a rough time frame with that.
We're just going to have to see what they have to say, aren't we? Yeah.
Now we have a big trip planned. We made plans this weekend, and I'm going to let Bill the Drone Reviewer folks know before I let you all go. Is we are going up to Ohio for my granddaughter's 2nd birthday. Okay. I can't tell you, Marcus, that put a smile on my face ear to ear. My wife is the same way. We are so excited about it. And it's just, and then we've also heard, my son-in-law has told us tentatively they're coming down and staying the whole week before Christmas. So that's going to be fantastic. I can't tell you how excited we are about that. So,
yeah, I mean, Bill, congratulations. It's just
thank you.
So cool that we've got past all that mess of
I know. God,
and we should do that.
Yeah, we're just real happy about that. Any final thoughts, Marcus, before we wrap things up here?
We got, I think, pretty much across the nation, everybody's got some pretty hot weather coming up. So get out there and fly your drones and have fun. So and from all of us to you, Marcus and Sarah, have safe travels, have a lot of fun, and we want to see a lot of footage. Okay, I know we'll see a lot of footage.
Are you taking a laptop with you or anything?
Yeah, I'll take the laptop, but I'm not big on editing on the road, Bill. So,
Well, at least to be able to download your stuff off the SD card. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a smart thing. I was going to say that's a very smart thing to do. When I'm going up to Ohio, the Air 2's coming with me. Okay, and I'm ordering one of those shell cases like PGY Tech makes. Just a case for that, and then a case for the remote. And then I'll put the batteries in a LiPo pack.
Oh, there you go.
Simple, real simple. Yeah. Doesn't gets right in there. Guys, thank you for a great show tonight. It was awesome. It was great having Ron and Marcus join us. A lot of great talk. Be on the lookout. We'll be on Saturday after the Hubsan event. Talk about things. Let you know how things break down. If Marcus can join us, he will. But Ron will join. Ron and I will give you our expert analysis. So, anyway, guys, it's been a great day, and always remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care.